Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when and where you are watching this onboarding video. I want to thank you for joining the organization. It is indeed an honor to have you here. For you to have got to this point, it means you've gone through some level of process, you've gone through some level of scrutiny, you've gone through the application process, and amongst the thousands of applications that we've received, we've decided to move forward with you. And we're looking forward to going on this really exciting journey with you. And on that note, I want to welcome you to Welcome to Africa International. So when people ask, what is Welcome to Africa International? We're not a charity, we're not an NGO. I would like to describe Welcome to Africa International as an investment and trade facilitation company. So let me crave your indulgence and tell you the founding story behind Welcome to Africa International. I was a student at Essex University where I was studying psychology and criminology at the time. And I also used to organize parties. So naturally, I was always networking with many of the people across the campus. Amongst those I was networking with were students from Nigeria, as well as other African nations. I was meeting Nigerians from Nigeria and Africans from across Africa. And at that time, I had never been to Africa, I had never been to Nigeria. In fact, I had no plans. However, from engaging with those students, I became a lot more inspired. And it was during that time that it also dawned on me that perhaps I had been brainwashed all these years, because the impression that I was given at the time that was taught to me, especially during primary school in the 90s, was that Africa was an impoverished continent. So with that in mind, I remember going to my mom at the time saying that, "Mom, I want to go to Nigeria." And she looked at me like, "Why?" And I said, "I just want to know what's going on there." Now at the time, she didn't think I was smart enough for Nigeria, so she sent me to Ghana instead. We had some family there. And the moment that I touched down in Accra was the moment that it dawned on me that Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Africa is a continent of so many opportunities. And for every challenge that I saw, I was seeing an opportunity, particularly based on my experience being born and raised in the UK. So when I got to Ghana, I was supposed to be there for 3 weeks, but I spent 3 months. And during that time, what I was doing was shooting documentaries. At the time, I felt that the media had destroyed the image of Africa, so therefore the media should be the one to correct it. So as I was shooting these documentaries, I was trying to promote the documentaries. I thought by now BBC will see it, CNN will see it. I thought that, whoa, I'm about to blow. In fact, I shot 2 documentaries. I went the first time, came back, error, failure, nothing happened. Went again, I said, this one, my documentary will blow. Unfortunately, it didn't blow, okay? And at the time, I was marketing the documentary. There was one particular conference that I attended. And as I was at the conference, I was chatting to my friend. And I was telling her that, look, my documentary is not blowing. I don't know what to do. I've started failing my exam. My mom is shouting at me. I was just typing everything, okay? So on my phone, the text is quite big. And fortunately, somebody was actually reading the messages. And he called me aside and was trying to understand what is it I was trying to achieve. And at that point, he began to enlighten me into the power and impactful nature of investments and trade. As time went along, my interest in the role and impact investments and trade can play as it relates to growing a nation grew. So as I mentioned, I used to organize parties and I knew the role networks could play. So naturally, organizing conferences became the next best thing to do. That being said, from the insights that I was gathering, I also realized the different sectors that Africa has. And at the time, agriculture was one of the sectors that I felt had the most impact, and it was a sector that had impact across all the other sectors. So we began to organize investment conferences specific to agriculture. Initially it was Africa and agriculture, and as time went along we began to organize conferences specific to Nigeria's agricultural sector. And these investment and trade conferences that we're organizing also became a platform where business and transactions could take place. It became a platform where investors and those looking to do business in the country would want to attend. And as a result of doing these conferences, we were able to build a network, we were able to become an authority, and like I had mentioned, we were able to create a platform where transactions took place. Beyond these conferences, as an organization, we look to bridge the gap between investors and investees, buyers and sellers, investment and trade. And as such, we provide a number of services to fulfill those respective goals. And we do this knowing that the more investments that we can facilitate, the more trade that we can facilitate, the more development we can bring. And this development is not just development for Africa, it's development to the world. It's mutually beneficial. As an organization, we're looking to be the leading platform for investments and trade into and across Africa. As such, we're focused on Nigeria, but as time goes along, we intend to take this impact across Africa while still maintaining a very strong presence outside of Africa. At this point, I'm sure you're wondering what to expect when you join as a team member at Welcome to Africa International. The truth of the matter is, I'm not going to try and give you the impression that it's going to be rosy, it's going to be easy. We are doing life-changing work at Welcome to Africa International. And if we do our work well as it relates to investments and trade facilitation, we will actually see economic development in Nigeria and Africa at large, and of course to those that want to partake in this economic development. So as it relates to the work that you'll be doing here, I want to quickly speak to some of our core values so that as you do work and contribute your quota, you have the following in mind: excellence and innovation. The truth of the matter is, the work is not going to reduce, it's going to increase. However, if you do your work with excellence and innovation at the back of your mind, you will find easier ways to get the hard things done. Passion. You actually need to believe Nigeria is a country with potentials for you to do this work. You need to believe that Africa is blessed with opportunities, and Welcome to Africa is the vessel that's letting the world know about these various investment and trade opportunities. That comes with a strong sense of belief. And not just that, you also need to be a person of passion. A person of passion will always go the extra mile. A person of passion wants to represent excellence. When it comes to passion, you actually need to care. Care about the work that you do, care about the people around you, and care about what you're trying to achieve. Respect and humility. There will be mistakes made, but then how do you respond to mistakes? Are you accountable? Are you willing to learn? Are you able to share the ideas you have in a respectful way? So respect and humility is something that's very key in the organization. Integrity. People talk about integrity a lot, but integrity goes beyond, are you telling a lie or not? Does your A mean A? If you say you're going to send an email by 5 o'clock, did you send that email by 5 o'clock? And if you couldn't send it at 5 o'clock, did you inform the party that you could no longer meet that time? So integrity should be at the foundation of everything that we do here. And wherever your integrity is compromised, communicate. So as you communicate, remember the other core value, respect. Communication is courtesy, and courtesy is respect. And of course, that is one of our core values. Our final core value is that of relationships, fostering positive, optimistic, valuable relationships, and ensuring we as an organization and we as individuals are adding value to every relationship that we find ourselves in. So thank you once again. This is about to be the beginning of something that will be very exciting, life-changing, and memorable. And I'm excited to have you join us in this mission.